Boom. We are alive, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be talking about QUIDD. I believe it has the potential to be the next up and coming NFT marketplace, and we're going to go over exactly why we think that. So on the screen here on arcanebear.com, you can see our personal write-up on QUIDD. We've all heard of NFTs by now, and we've watched many marketplaces like OpenSea, Rarible, Super Rare explode. Now, one of the unique aspects about the QUIDD marketplace is they already have 7 million users into their apps. They have over 2.1 billion collectibles, which is unique. And they offer more than 6 transactions per second in the aftermarket. So they originally launched in 2016 by Michael Bramlage. He worked with Topps. He saw this digital collectible wave coming. Now, I suggest watching the podcast I did with Michael down in the links below. He goes into some great areas of his story and his vision. I think a good founder is always one of the most important parts of a project's success. They uniquely also have Disney, Marvel, Hasbro, HBO, some of the biggest names and partnerships within this platform already set up and ready to go. My favorites were Rick and Morty and Adventure Time with Finn and Jay because I happen to be a fan of those particular types of cartoons. So what makes us unique? Again, the perspective of Michael here of the 100-year future of digital collectibles, I think, is a really smart approach. He's recognized something that a lot of people did not see coming, myself included. So again, you've got a really strong team, a long background, and the recent acquisition by Animoca Brands has made them extraordinarily powerful. So here you can see Animoca, I think, bought the entirety of QUIDD. Now, you can fact check me on this if I'm incorrect about that particular statement. I apologize. And from Sequoia originally, and then Yatsu, the founder and director of Animoca Brands here, has helped lead as an advisor on their team as well. So again, originally backed by Sequoia Capital and now led by the Animoca Brands family. Because of Animoca's early success in this space through Dapper Labs, the Sandbox, OpenSea, and Axie Infinity in general, I feel that QUIDD is extraordinarily well placed because of their network, right? When you look at who's backing a company, it's not just the money that they're putting in. There's lots of money in this ecosystem. It's really about the strategic partnerships, how people work together and grow that ecosystem that is the most beneficial. So why is this so valuable? Well, we took a little bit of a deep dive through Market Cypher here. We just wanted to look at digital collectibles as a whole, again, something I'm not all that well informed about. The market size was estimated at $412 billion in 2020 and is expected to reach $628 billion by 2031. Digital NFT collectibles was the fastest growing segment in this area with a growing ratio of around 14.2% during the forecasted period. So again, these collectibles whose monetary value is far more than its original value is kind of the wholesale project that we're going to look into. So let's take a deeper dive into QUIDD's light paper and white paper on how they plan to do this. Again, what we're going to go over here is just some of my core concepts. Rick and Morty, huge fan here. Game of Thrones. These are big brands. And what we saw is the unique collectors of the NFT sector, let's say the CryptoPunks, the CryptoKitties, these are all collectibles specifically geared at the crypto enthusiast. Now, there are a lot of other collectibles and things that people have been interested in for quite a long time that are not necessarily driven by the NFT sector. So one of the unique aspects about the QUIDD marketplace, which you can go to, again, all the links will be down below. A one-click sign-in, the ease of payment, the ability to mint these unique NFTs that are held by like Hello Kitty, Adventure Time, Dr. Seuss. These are some big brands. So going back to the light paper here, again, physical collectible market is booming. We just went over this in the Cypher market breakdown as well. 13 billion in 2019. So just more statistics and data on exactly what we were looking at previously. So again, a big shift lately too, and we've seen this, that the digital collectibles is not just about the collectible, but it's about an online presence and a swag. As we move into the potential of the multiverse, which is what we're in right now, do not underestimate the fact that what we are doing right now is the metaverse. We are looking at the way people identify themselves, like one would a Rolex with, let's say, a Bored Ape or Solana monkey business. These also offer you entry into unique clubs, partnerships, a whole bunch of interesting stuff. And we're seeing a life of the NFT sector kind of take on a movement of its own. And this is always really powerful. So QUIDD itself is really set up to do well here. And again, what we generally want to look at is the team. And Michael Bramlage did a great job. So again, if you check out market.onQuid, you can take a look at it here as well. There, again, the finance, the Binance financing, as well as, more specifically, Animoca Brands there positions them really, really well to have that market uptake. If you have not signed up, try it. It's super simple. The sign-in is very easy. It makes a lot of sense. Now, let's talk about price, something I believe that is less relevant, but always important. Now, we've seen a 500% growth in QUIDD's price since the podcast originally aired, the one, again, that you can find down in the links below. It appears to me to be in another reaccumulation phase. I suspect that what we're going to see is another test of around the $5 area, and then we are going to continue and probably double from here. Now, the price is an irrelevant structure. All the things we've gone over in the beginning of this topic is specifically to do with fundamentals. And QUIDD has a long-term fundamental vision. Assets like this, we believe, are generally meant to be only accumulated and accumulated for a long time. Big fans of seeing founders like Michael come to the table. And what's fun too is, before we go any further,
I need to tell you guys where all this money came from.
Where?
The king has returned.
One of my favorite parts about these deep dives was actually finding out QUIDD's partnerships with MrBeast. Now, if you don't know MrBeast, welcome to YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. I highly suggest you check your way around. YouTube used to be a very exciting and fun place, and MrBeast is a hallmark of that excitement. Now, if you don't know his channel, he's known for pranks and, well, not pranks, but like, he'll give money to homeless people. He does a lot of charitable stuff. Let's not denigrate his extremely kind heart and ingenious thinking, but he does things that get a lot of people's attention, like, oh, hold your hand on the car for the longest and win the car, these types of things. Challenges, I guess, not pranks. That's what they're called, challenges. So during our deep dive, one of the family shared this with us, and this is an episode that QUIDD had sponsored with MrBeast, where they donated $100,000 to streamers who would win the game effectively. And so he offered $10,000 to each player, and if no one won, the pot size grew. And seeing this type of market outreach, again, here, if you go through the video, you can see
I've seen all 500 episodes of Shippuden, and when I saw they added Naruto stickers and cards, I went insane and instantly.
So again, this video is from 2018, where MrBeast is helping the distribution of these collector's cards and items, one of 100,000 MrBeast cards. So QUIDD is ahead of the game, and because of that, they're positioned really well to continue to move forward. So I just want to do a little deep dive today into QUIDD. Again, the market price and sentiment here, I think, is rather unimportant. Prices go up, prices go down. One of the reasons why we will do more deep dive videos like this is there's a lot of fundamental value in the long term for understanding these niches, these verticals. If you can grasp a theme of any nature and understand it, if it's a good investment, it will continue to be a good investment regardless of what the price is. When we're dealing with asymmetric returns, it's usually time that gets in people's misunderstanding that allows them to make such poor decisions by selling usually right before the price explodes, because they don't have the fundamental values that need to be really understood to make that investment and sit and be patient on an investment. You know, your portfolio is not designed to make you revenue. It should be designed as a growth the same way you would grow any portfolio. It's not to be used to pay your rent. If you need to pay your rent, you should be finding or building a job, doing something else. I was not here to give you a lecture about how you generate revenue, but generally using your portfolio to generate revenue for day-to-day life is not a great idea. Now, if expenses come up and you want to pay off debts, well, do that. But other than that, your portfolio should be looked at a long-term collection of things, and to be exploratory with it. So we highly suggest taking a look at arcanebear.com, or you can read the rest of our article here on QUIDD. Where we go into a little bit of a deeper dive. Again, all the light paper and the marketplace links will be in the video down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm a big fan of QUIDD. I'm a big fan of Animoca Brands. I really like Yat's vision. I like Michael's vision. One of the most unique parts for me is that I'm not a tech person. I don't know how a lot of this stuff works. But what I do know is when you find individuals who have a vision of the future and can see that vision clearly, supporting their team is almost always a smart idea. Now, I think I'll use this as a last kind of moment to end today's episode. But One of my favorite quotes by the founder of Super Nintendo, whose name I will never be able to pronounce just from memory. He said this. He says, "They say video games are bad for you, but they said the same thing about rock and roll." And one of the things that I've been learning more about this sector as I've started to deep dive is that, you know, these offer a very unique potential for where we start and where we go. And the reason why we use the Super Nintendo's quote, not because Quid has anything to do with gaming today, no, that's not it. It's because it recognizes a particular character and spirit. So the reason why we like founders is because it's their ingenuity, the ability to see a vision and change when necessary. So the founder of Nintendo, for those of you that don't know, it originally started out as a board game and then became a video game. And a lot of companies like Kodak or Blockbuster, they don't recognize that the core concept of what you're doing as a business will fundamentally change as technology changes those business practices. So you have to be flexible enough to go from a board game to a video game. And the founders that do that, really those are the people that we're looking for, and that surpasses any tech because the tech will change. The way the concept or the vision is put together underneath at the core basis will change, but the vision itself is a little bit easier to recognize, at least from my standpoint. So big shout out to Michael for having such an early vision into digital collectibles. I sure missed it. Not missing it anymore. But anyways, give us a thumbs up if you like this content. If you enjoyed today's deeper dive into Quid, you let me know. We will be doing more of these because it gives me a bit of a minute and a time to dive deeper, share with you guys my thoughts about specific projects, and more in that thematic approach that we're finding on a day-to-day basis. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode.